Hey guys! Alright, so I have like 3 or 4 days to sell everything, trash everything, and then give everything that's left to Lucas. Lucas is going to be moving into this room, basically taking over my spot in this house. So I need to get rid of all of my shit, and I'm going to give him the useful stuff, like the computer, that kind of thing. It's such a tip right now. But I wanted to do a video about the stuff on my walls real quick because, well, this is more for me than for you guys because I want to see this later on in my life. I think it'd be kind of cool. So I have a bunch of people. I think you guys have seen some of these in videos. I'm just going to go and show everything. So this was like what started almost all of this was this YouTube thing called Project Porcupine. Okay? So Project Porcupine is a project that the YouTuber Quill18 does. He's a Let's Player, so he plays video games, usually strategy games and that kind of thing. And then he does like commentary while he's playing. And he's one of the like most strategy game Let's Players out there, or on YouTube at least. But he runs a channel called Quill18 Creates, and that channel is all about developing video games. And giving you experience using Unity. And I've done like a couple of his tutorials, like his videos, and they're incredibly informative. And a lot of my style of YouTube tutorial is stuff I learned from Quill18. He's like one of, I think probably the biggest inspiration for my YouTube videos was his YouTube channel. So before all the other shit on the wall, there was just this. And this was something that I did, honestly, when my girlfriend broke up with me, I was really, really emotional, and I was just like, fuck, I gotta drown this emotion in something, you know? So I was just like, I'm gonna go through this series about how to make this video game thing, and get in the habit of doing that every day. And you can see, I timestamped the days that I finished each introduction. You can see, right? And if you look down the list, I'm not going to show you all of it because, you know, there's like 70 episodes. You can see that a lot of it happened in like a 4-week period. And that was when it was like my emotions were at the worst. And every day I was watching those tutorials, but then there was this inner dialogue going on between me and my ex in my head. And it was intense. But things got better. And that was before I started doing the YouTube work. And it's funny because I didn't think I'd end up doing a YouTube channel regularly, right? That wasn't something I expected. But because I was in the habit of doing that tutorial every single day, at one point, I was like, oh, all right, I'm going to do these 5 videos, okay? And then because I was in the habit of doing that every day, I realized I was just like, oh, shit, I can just make videos every day instead of watching them. And then the momentum was just like, boom. It was really, really awesome. And that's one of the reasons I'm so regular. So that was the initial list that really started everything. Then there's another list of like things to do. And that's, I don't know if you guys can see this at all. I should probably make it viewable. So it originally was a list of things to do with my girlfriend at the time. But after she broke up with me, I just crossed her name out. And now it's a list of just things to do, right? So I'm gonna have to make a new one for Nicaragua because that is gonna be its own beast in itself. I feel like there's so much more to do in Nicaragua. So another list I have is a list of my YouTube. So my first goal was like phase 1, and that was to publish 100 episodes. And then I was like, oh, 100 will be enough, and then I can make a course. I'm almost at 300 and I still don't have a course, but you know, whatever. So I was writing down the names, the titles, episode numbers, the length when it was published. But I actually that was really time consuming, so I stopped doing that. This is a letter from a friend of mine, Hasib and Kelly. Well, this is written from Kelly, but and then this is an idea for a video game where you have like a pile of resources. And then you have a town that you can build around those resources. And then once you build the town, then it goes into phase 2, and the town becomes like the hub of this place in the wilderness, and then you get attacked, and then phase 3 is when the wilderness eventually overpowers you. So no matter what, it always eventually wins, and the cycle restarts, and it just keeps going. And you get better and better each time, that kind of thing. So I guess the next thing, I have a bunch of like art and stuff on my wall. It's fallen, as you can see, because I just got rid of my bed. Well, got rid of, but it's really in the living room. So I guess the next thing is the quotes. So I have like 4 quotes that I really like. They mean a lot to me, and I try and think about them regularly. The most important one for me is throw yourself into life that creates the person you wish to be. And that's because I don't think it's about like being smart or being talented. It's about learning what lifestyle creates the person you want to be, and then figuring out how to live that lifestyle, because then you will become what you want, right? So I try and do that a lot, because a lot of life is about like not just freaking out too much and just throwing yourself into things. So thus Nicaragua, right? Other ones, do it till you get sore. That's like working out, that kind of thing. You know how it's like something that may be unpleasant, but then when you actually do it, you know, it gives you like a satisfying soreness, right? And I guess there's also like sexual connotations to that. But okay. And then this is the other one. Improving for someone else is still improvement. A lot of my life, I've improved for other people, and people in my life have told me that that's a weakness. But honestly, I don't think it fucking matters why you improve. All that matters is that you're getting better. At the end of the day, like, who cares if you got better at something because you had feelings for somebody and you wanted to impress them? At the end of the day, you still got better at something, you still improved. So the reason why, it doesn't really matter that much. And like, honestly, in my head, the way I live my life, if anything will cause me to improve, then I do it. Like, why not? Who gives a fuck why it's happening, right? Happening. Okay, the other one is I'd rather be in love. I'm definitely somebody who like falls in love a lot. I used to only fall in love with people, but now I've fallen in love with like eBay and dropshipping and like certain kinds of lifestyles. And I realize now that for me, what love is, or what falling in love is, it's what happens when I meet a force or an energy that I want to become like, that I want to integrate into my life in the long run. I fall in love with it. And then it becomes like so rewarding to do, and I know that it's making me the person that I want to be, you know? Kind of like that throw yourself at life thing. So those are the quotes. And then, okay, so next I'll go over my favorite fictional characters. So these are characters in video games that I really like. This is Ellie. So she's a character, one of the main characters in the video game The Last of Us, which is like a post-apocalyptic zombie game. And the reason I like her so much is because she's like going through crazy stuff. Her parents are dead. She's like infected, and she's still positive and cheerful, and she's really loyal, and I really admire that. Like, I try and be like that as well. Like, it's one thing to be positive and cheerful if you haven't been through shit, but if you're positive and cheerful after going through a whole bunch of stuff, you know, it's really something I admire. And the other fictional character I like is Naruto, because he was judged a lot, you know, and he just kept believing in himself, and he eventually got there, which is something I really relate to. Another one is Sirius Black from Harry Potter. And I like Sirius Black because he was judged and thrown in jail for something he didn't do. And I definitely I really relate to people who are actually good but perceived as bad because they're just judged by us. But then if you get to know them, you realize that they're just completely fucking wrong, right? So the other character I really like, and this is more about demeanor, is Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean. I just like his cheery, aloof kind of and I try and definitely replicate that in my own personal life. Okay, so those are my favorite fictional characters. So next I'm gonna go over my favorite YouTubers. And this has actually changed because Marc is one of my favorite YouTubers, but he's not up on this list because I'm about to move. So there's Anna Akana, and then this is the guy who does game theory and film theory, Matt Pat, and this is Mangchi. And she is the one who does like shows on Korean cooking and all that kind of stuff. It's really cool. And then there's some other ones. I'm not going to show you everything in here, but I'll show you some of my favorite people.